Hello, we shall be talking about prosody. Now, prosody came from the Greek word prosodia, which basically means a song or music. So, prosody refers to the laws regulating the structures of verses or lines of poetry. Basically, it's the grammar of verse. So, what is verse? Verse is any composition of rhythmic lines. Syllable. Now, syllable is the smallest unit of a word that can be uttered in a single effort of the voice. So, if I say the word book, I can utter the word book with a single effort. So, that is a kind of monosyllabic word. So, if I say the word, for example, metaphor, I am, look closely how I am uttering the word metaphor. Metaphor. So basically, there are three syllables. So, syllable means the smallest unit of a word that can be uttered with a single effort of voice. There are several types of syllables: monosyllabic, disyllabic, trisyllabic, tetrasyllabic, pentasyllabic. In monosyllabic word, the word has only one syllable. For example, book. Okay. In disyllabic word, you have two syllables. For example, poem, poem. Trisyllabic, three syllables. Example, metaphor. Tetrasyllabic, four syllables in a word. Memorable, for example, memorable. Pentasyllabic, five syllables in a word. Example, investigation, investigation. Look, there are five syllables in the word investigation. Now, let us look at a few related terms. Morpheme. Now, the morpheme is the smallest meaningful unit of a word. For example, if I say the word unbelievable, there are three morphemes. There are three smallest units carrying meaning: un, believe, and able. Now, this word unbelievable has three morphemes: un, believe, and able. Look at the word dogs. Dogs, two morphemes are there: dog and the S sound. Dog and S sound. So, morpheme is basically the smallest meaningful unit of a word, whereas the syllable was the smallest unit of a word that you can utter with a single effort of a voice. Now, one related term is morpheme, phoneme. Sorry, phoneme means basically this type of sound that will distinguish the word from another identical sound. For example, let us take two identical sounds, words soar, roar. So the S sound of soar is differentiating it from the word roar. Vice versa, R sound is distinguishing the word roar from soar. So basically, there are 44 phonemes in English language, which include consonants, short vowels, long vowels, diphthongs, and triphthongs. Now, this belongs to linguistics. Now, accent. Now, accent is basically the stress or effort you put on certain syllable. So, think of the word accent. Now, in the word accent, there are two syllables: accent, accent. Look closely. I am, putting stress on the word scent, accent. So, accent means particular stress or effort of voice on certain syllable of words. Okay. So, yes, accent syllable is marked by this sign. Look at this sign. And usually this accent mark is put upon the vowel syllable. And unaccented syllable is marked by this cross sign or kind of U kind of sign. I'll point it out later. Now let us look at the definition of rhythm, meter, and rhyme. Rhythm came from the Greek word rhythmos, which in turn came from the word rheo, which means basically flow. So rhythm means basically flow of language. Basically, it's kind of musical flow of language. Now, what is rhyme then? Now, rhyme is basically the pattern of words that contain similar sounds. So identical sounds. So that is what rhyme is all about. And rhythm is about musical flow or cadence of this language. Now, what is meter? Now, meter came from the Greek word metron, which means measure. Uh, it's kind of specific harmonic dispensation of the syllables. I'll come to it. Now, first, let us understand the difference between rhythm and rhyme. So, what is rhyme? Rhyme is all about identical sounds, and rhythm is about the musical cadence. Hmm? Rhyme is mostly concerned with the use of words and syllables. Obviously, it's all about identical sounds, similar sort of sounds. And rhythm is concerned with words, phrases, and lines. And words, phrases, of lines, all these together would create this musical flow. Rhyme can be divided into internal and external rhymes. Now, what is internal rhyme? When a polysyllabic word, suppose a polysyllabic word where two syllables within a word are creating, kind of rhyme. So that is internal rhyme. And external rhyme, if I say the words like go, slow, flow, these are external rhymes. So syllables, identical sounds belonging to different words are creating this rhyme. And what is rhythm can be categorized into groups based on syllables. Now, verse, I told you earlier that verse would basically refer to lines of poetry. Hmm? Combination of regularly accented groups of syllables and measures. Now, measure or foot, it is one of the most important aspects of prosody. Now, measure would refer to the regular combination of unaccented and accented syllables. It's a kind of combination, the right combination of the type of combination of unaccented and accented syllables, that is what you need to look into. And we shall come to the type of measures. Now look at this type of measures, and I will show how this works a bit later. But look at this formula. I would say it's rather a formula. Disyllabic and trisyllabic, iambic, unstressed, stressed. So when you have a verse where unstressed and stressed syllables are regularly are regularly regulated, are repeated, then you can say that this verse contains iambic feet, hmm? or iambic measures. Then stressed, unstressed, trochaic, spondy, stressed, stressed, pyrrhic, unstressed, unstressed, anapestic, unstressed, unstressed, stressed, dactylic, stressed, unstressed, unstressed, ampibrachaic, unstressed, stressed, unstressed. Now there are certain conditions. If you find in a line that you cannot put this syllable into any form, and this syllable is either at the front part of a line or the back part of a line, doesn't fit with the remaining feet of the line, then you need to side those with third brackets. And stressed, if that is a stressed front part, then you can say it's acephalous. Unstressed front part, then it is anacrosis. Stressed back part, it's catalectic. Hypermetric is unstressed back part. You will come to know about this when you practice it. Unless you practice it, you won't be able to understand. Now, what is meter? Now, meter would basically refer to the systematic regulation of the number of measures or feet in a verse. So, and this, if I want to find out the meter of this verse, then first I need to break the words accordance with the syllables. Then I need to combine these syllables into feet or measures. Then only I can find out the pattern which is being regulated. Then only I can find the meter. So if I do this, it would look like this. This verse would look like this after I took Scansion. Now, what is Scansion? I'll come to this. Look at this. How frightened you were once and not so long ago. See, a type of, combination, a type of unaccented and accented feet is regulated throughout the verse. So the meter is, while trying to find out the meter of this verse, I need to trace the type of measure that is being repeated. So in order to find the meter, I need to know what sort of what are the what sort of feet are there. So look at this. Uh, Type of measures or feet. Now this is the most important part of Scansion. In order to find out the meter, you need to know the type of measures or feet. There are basically two type of measures, and there are certain exceptions. Disyllabic and trisyllabic. Trisyllabic measures and disyllabic measures. And in disyllabic measures, you have certain subcategories, obviously, and these subcategories are the most important ones. Now if you find that syllables, unaccented and accented syllables are regulated throughout the verse, you can find that these are iambic measures. So iambic is basically unaccented and accented syllable. Trochaic, accented and unaccented. Spondy, accented and accented. Pyrrhic, unaccented, unaccented. Similarly, trisyllabic, anapestic, dactylic, amphibrachaic, unaccented, unaccented, accented. Dactylic, unaccented, unaccented, unaccented. Amphibrachaic, unaccented, accented, unaccented. Now there are certain exemptions when you cannot combine these combine certain syllables belonging to the front part or back part of a line. Then you might have to resort to these formula, you can say. Acephalous, anacrusis, catalectic, hypermetric. Acephalous is stressed front part, you need to put it aside with the third bracket. Anacrusis, unstressed front part. Catalectic, stressed back part. And hypermetric, unstressed back part. So these won't be clear unless you practice it. Now look at this one, look at this format, look closely at the iambic. Okay, unaccented and unaccented. Now look at this one. Look, this verse is divided into measures, and one sort of measure is being repeated throughout the verse, and that is unaccented accented. So what it is? It is iambic. So it is iambic. So there might be several types of measures as well. You have seen it. So we shall come to practice, but first let us look into the definitions. So what is meter? The systematic regulation of the number of measures or feet in a verse. So systematic regulation of number of measures or feet in a verse, a type of regulated, uh, you know, ordered measures or feet. Now, what is scansion? Now, scansion comes from the Latin word scando, which means climb. Basically, scansion means dividing the verse into measures or feet of which it is composed. So, scansion is the sole purpose of scansion is to find out the meter of a verse. So, there are certain stages. So, I would recommend uh, I would recommend that you do scansion in the following way. Stage one. What is the stage one? When you get a verse, first you need to break the words into syllables. So that is the first stage. The second stage is that you need to specify the stressed and unstressed syllables, where you are exactly putting accent while uttering the syllables. Exactly where. That is the second stage. And the third stage is divide the feet, or measures. And then only you can find what exact meter is here in this verse. So if you look at this poem, this youth too long has heard the break of waters in land of change. He goes to see what sons can make from soil more indurate and strange. So when you are asked to scan this poem, this verse, first you need to break the words into syllables. So this is a monosyllabic word, youth is a monosyllabic word, too long has heard the break, these are all monosyllabic, you don't need to break the words. Of waters, waters is disyllabic, waters. In a land of change, the rest is the monosyllabic. He goes to see what sons can make. Again, each word of the third line is monosyllabic. The fourth line from soil. From is monosyllabic. Soil is monosyllabic. More is monosyllabic. Indurate, no, it's kind of trisyllabic. Indurate, trisyllabic. And strange. Strange is once again monosyllabic. And the second stage is that try to find out exactly where you are putting your stress. So in order to do that, you need to read out the poem properly. You need to find out the beat within that poem, the rhythm within that poem. Only then you can be able to scan this poem properly. Only then you can find the proper meter which is being followed in this verse. So you need to read the poem properly. So let us try to read the poem properly. This youth too long has heard the break of waters in a land of change. He goes to see what sons can make from soil more indurate and strange. So you need to find out the beat. Okay, this youth too long has heard the break of waters in a land of change. He goes to see what sons can make from soils more indurate and strange. So clearly, we are look at the first line. We are, putting accent on youth. This youth to long. We are putting accent once again on long. Has heard the break, heard and break. Here, in these two syllables, we are putting accent, and this is the way you would, point out the accented syllables and mark those. And after doing that, you can be able to divide these syllables into feet. And once again, while dividing the feet, you need to remember this formula. You need to remember this, these types of measures, or I would say this is this is formula. So iambic, unaccented, accented; trochaic, accented, unaccented; spondy, accented, accented; pyrrhic, unaccented, unaccented; trisyllabic, anapestic, dactylic, amphipacaic; unaccented, unaccented, accented; dactylic, accented, unaccented, unaccented; amphipacaic, unaccented, accented, unaccented. So look at this one. So clearly this is iambic, because here you can find unaccented, accented. This type of foot is regulated throughout the verse. So that is perhaps the easiest example I have taken. So while doing this scansion, what I want to point out is that first stage is to break the syllables, break the words into syllables. Second stage is the to specify the stressed and unstressed syllables, and the third stage is to divide the feet, and then only you can find the meter. So here you can find that iambic tetrameter is used here. Why tetrameter? Because there are 4 feet. 4 feet. If there were 3 feet, then I could have said trimeter. If there were 2 feet, then I could have said diameter. Okay, so this is the way you would do scansion. Thank you.